Chicago Med Season 11 finale gives me hope for the future despite some questionable moments. Chicago Med Season 11's wrap-up was better than expected. The violent hostage situation took up very little screen time. Lennox was finally on the way to being the character I fell in love with last year, and Charles discovered something surprising. Best of all, Hannah's baby was delivered without the tragic complications we were all expecting, which is especially shocking considering Chicago Med's track record with pregnancies. The hostage situation was unnecessary, but mercifully brief. I've had more than enough of violent people wandering the halls at Gaffney Medical Center. Chicago Med Season 11 already had a full hostage situation not that long ago, and Sharon nearly died at a stalker's hands the season before, so the idea of an escaped prisoner holding Archer at gunpoint didn't appeal to me. Fortunately, it wasn't nearly as extensive as the trailer had promised, and ended up being more ridiculous than anything else. Chicago Med Season 11 Episode 21 spent only a few minutes altogether on this situation. However, it kicked off with the gunman showing up the moment Archer was alone in the surgical locker room, something that never should have happened during a lockdown. The way the police handled the lockdown didn't seem the most secure or efficient way to do things, either. A couple of cops cleared each floor one by one and gave staff permission to work as long as they stayed on the floor. Not only did that leave some people stuck in lockdown for a long period of time, but it also defied basic security logic. A smart gunman could wait until a floor was cleared, then double back once the cops were gone. Maybe I misread the number of on-screen cops as the total number in the building, but it seemed like all available cops were on one floor before moving up to the next, making it easy for the gunman to avoid them. The gunman was quickly disarmed once he finally revealed his plan. Not that I'm complaining. He wanted the doctors to wake up Isaac so they could escape together. That was the whole reason for this ridiculous and violent situation, which was more original than the usual forcing doctors to perform a life-saving procedure that insurance doesn't cover. But once the bad guy realized that Isaac was dead, he was so lost in grief that the police could come out of nowhere to knock him to the ground and cuff him, solving the problem. That's preferable to yet another long, drawn-out hostage situation, but the rushed resolution made it feel even more like this whole scenario was added in order to create extra excitement for the finale. There was enough authentic drama without adding this, and a hostage situation is a strange thing to use for filler. Hannah's miracle is safe. For now. Despite all the cryptic comments that showrunner Alan McDonald gave in interviews to suggest something would go wrong with the birth, Hannah had a healthy baby girl and even shared a kiss with Archer afterward. I'm still worried that Chicago Med Season 12 will involve a sudden medical emergency involving Hannah or her baby, but I'm glad that this family got its happy ending for now. It would have been entirely too tragic if Archer survived the gunman just to learn that Hannah or the baby had died. Their declaration of love was a much better way to end the season, even if I'm not sold on these two as a couple. At least it gave us something hopeful to end on. The situation in which Hannah delivered another baby while in labor was unrealistic, though. I get that the lockdown made it hard for her to ask for help, but come on. That whole setup was so ridiculous that I couldn't take that part of the story seriously, especially when Hannah had to enlist one of the fathers-to-be in assisting with a C-section. That story also had a happy ending, marking one of the few times in Chicago Med history when two babies and their mothers both survived on the same night. Lennox finally telling the truth might put her on the right path, I hope. I haven't been happy with the way Lennox has been written throughout Chicago Med Season 11. The reckless person she's become post-diagnosis doesn't bear any resemblance to the straight-laced, overly rules-conscious Lennox of the previous season, but hopefully that's over now. Lennox finally told Kip the truth and was honest with Ripley, who was surprisingly mature for once. These versions of these characters are watchable. Let's hope they stay that way. Please don't tell me we're losing Sharon. I don't expect that we actually will. This feels like a standard season finale cliffhanger, but you never know. It certainly was a plot twist that Charles's job was saved, only for Sharon's to be threatened. But as she told Miranda, who has already forgotten the gratitude she owes Sharon for saving her life, Sharon won't back down easily. Still, this development is nerve-wracking. I'd hate to lose Sharon, who is often the steady leader that Gaffney needs. What did you think of the plot developments on Chicago Med Season 11 Episode 21? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to share this article with your friends and family so that they can join the conversation. Vote in our poll below to rank the episode. If you enjoyed this article, check out our coverage of Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. Chicago Med Season 11 is finished, but all 11 seasons of the series are available on Peacock. Chicago Med will return for Season 12 on NBC. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Citadel. Baked Alaska's S2. E1. TV Review.